Hi, everyone. I'm Josh.
And I'm Emmanuel.
We're also joined by Nick, our head of mobile product development, as well as our VP of marketing, Tatiana. Thank you for joining us for this very special moment. We're thrilled to talk to you about this milestone and to answer your questions. Towards the end of the session, we'll be taking some live Q&A, so be sure to drop your questions in the Q&A tab. Building true native mobile apps for iOS and Android using the same visual development platform you already know and trust has been something this community has asked us for over and over. Web versus mobile was actually something Emmanuel and I discussed the very first time we met. And while we picked web to start with, mobile has always been part of our vision. For over a decade, we've been focused on making web development accessible to anyone with an idea, and the results have been incredible. Our community has built over 6 million successful web apps, nearly 500 million page views on Bubble apps each month, and in 2024 alone, you processed over $850 million in transactions through Bubble-hosted businesses. Today, I am thrilled to announce that the wait is finally over. We're making the beta available to everyone.
With this release, we're fulfilling our founding vision and expanding the power of Bubble to the native app space. Everyone can now build web apps and native mobile apps without writing code. Not just prototypes or MVPs, but production-ready applications that successful businesses can rely on. It's been amazing to see what you've been creating during the private beta. Tatiana will be sharing more about these apps in a few minutes. Even though there are more features to launch, we're proud of what you've been able to build already, and we want to get into more hands as soon as possible. We recognize it's not perfect yet, as with any beta. You may encounter some limitations. We will continue to invest in the product to empower you to create exactly what you need. I would like to take this moment to express my gratitude to everyone who championed mobile in the community and provided ongoing feedback.
Our journey to mobile has been our most collaborative effort yet. We want to extend a huge thank you to all of our private alpha and private beta testers. You helped us make this a reality. We also want to thank a couple of our key community partners who went above and beyond. First, our Bubble ambassadors. You've been the bridge between our vision and the community's needs. Special thanks to Brenton, whose feedback helped us improve our App Store publishing guide. Next, our Bubble insiders and agencies. We're excited to see you expand your businesses to native mobile. Special thanks to Oliver, who worked closely with us on our onboarding emails. And thank you to all of our private beta testers who have been active in the forum and helped our team refine the product. This is not just Bubble's milestone, it's yours too. From all of us at Bubble, thank you for being with us on this journey. We have one more ask for you. Today, we launched this on Product Hunt to get native mobile in front of as many builders as possible. We would love your help amplifying the launch and sharing your feedback on Product Hunt to spread the word. You can scan this QR code or visit the short link on your screen. Your support means everything. It means more builders discover what we're launching today and more people see the power of Bubble's platform and its amazing community. With that, I'll hand it over to Nick to walk you through what the team has built.
Thanks, Josh. Hey, I'm Nick, and I lead product development for mobile apps here at Bubble. Building mobile apps is hard. I mean, really hard. In addition to dealing with the restrictions and guidelines of Apple and Google's mobile ecosystems, your development choices have basically boiled down to 3 things. First, there's the traditional tech stack, to learn Swift or Kotlin or hire specialized developers and deal with separate code bases for everything. Second, there are the cross-platform languages. React Native, NativeScript, and Flutter are all cross-platform languages, but this again requires you to either learn a specialized language or hire expensive dev teams. Third, you could wrap your web app, but your users will know. It'll feel like a website pretending to be a mobile app. Even vibe coding tools haven't really caught up on the mobile space either. So we looked at this landscape and saw a huge opportunity. We've been helping people build web applications without code for over a decade. What if we could bring that same approach to mobile? But here's the thing. Mobile forced us to really examine what makes Bubble valuable in the first place. One of our core strengths has always been giving you complete control. You're not limited to pre-built templates or rigid Lego blocks. You can build whatever UI and logic you want for your app. Mobile presented a fascinating product challenge with its much more structured ecosystem than web. iOS has human interface guidelines, Android has material design. They both have manual review processes. And users expect certain navigation patterns, specific interactions, and native feeling services. So we had this fundamental question. How do we preserve Bubble's flexibility while embracing what makes mobile apps feel truly native? This is one of the most fun and interesting product problems we've ever tackled. It forced us to make really deliberate design decisions about the entire development experience. And the way we ultimately solved this challenge represents a real breakthrough in how we think about mobile development. Rather than forcing you to choose between control and a native look and feel, we found a way to deliver both. Let's take a look at how Bubble works for native mobile apps.
Hey, I'm Carly. Today, I'm excited to introduce Native Mobile Apps by Bubble. For years, we've helped millions of users build web apps on our platform. Today marks a new chapter, not just for Bubble, but for builders everywhere. Mobile capability is table stakes. You probably don't think twice about switching between your computer and your phone. But for builders, delivering that experience means mastering multiple languages, tools, and services. That's why today is so exciting. Bubble brings everything into one powerful platform, so you're not just building an MVP, you're building a real app ready to scale. From prototype to thriving business, all the way to, we just hit 1 million users. With Bubble, your idea is limitless. Let's see how to go from concept to the App Store and beyond. If you're new to Bubble, the first thing you should know is that our platform takes care of it all, from design to deployment to security. With Bubble, you can design with our drag and drop editor, store and manage data with a built-in database, build custom workflows and logic, and you can launch with secure hosting all on one platform where you are in control. Our goal is to help you build real businesses, not just prototypes, for any screen. Start by creating a new project for a web app, a native mobile app, or both. If you're building for the web today, you can use AI to generate a full stack app. Just describe your idea in a prompt and watch as Bubble AI builds the UI, logic, and database. Soon, you'll be able to use Bubble AI to generate your mobile apps too. Whether or not you start with AI, you can design your app exactly as you envision. Bubble's visual editor gives you full control over the look, feel, and experience, no technical background needed. Our mobile tools embrace what makes mobile apps unique. With our library of mobile elements and surfaces like tab navigation, sheets, pickers, and gestures, you can build a truly native mobile experience. Now, let's talk about the back end. Bubble's workflow editor lets you visually define complex logic in plain English. We've extended that ability to create native user experiences with new mobile-specific workflow triggers and actions. Add native features like push notifications, camera access, and location services, all without code. When you're ready to test, you can preview your app right on your own device with the Bubble Go app. No deploys required. And the best part is that web and mobile live in a single project on Bubble. The power of this project comes from the shared backend. Your database, workflows, and API connections ensure seamless integration across your web and mobile apps, meaning more consistent experiences for users and less repetitive work for you. We've also made it easier than ever to get your app in the app stores. Simply enter your Apple and Google details into Bubble, and with one click, we'll send your app to both stores. If you're launching a new feature, you can push your update live and it'll go straight to your users' devices. For bigger updates, managing versions is simpler than ever. You can easily submit a new build for reapproval. You can even maintain multiple live versions at once. Our infrastructure handles the scale for you, so you can focus on building a great product, just like the over 6 million apps already growing on Bubble. With Bubble, you get one platform with infinite possibilities. Build any app you imagine, apps your users love and that your business can depend on. Make it mobile, build it with Bubble.
What you just saw is the result of solving that fundamental tension. We've created a mobile development experience that gives you complete creative control while automatically ensuring your apps feel native to iOS and Android users. Let me break down exactly how this works. Every time you create a new app in Bubble, it starts as a project. If you're already using Bubble, don't worry. Your current web app automatically becomes a project. A project can contain just a web app, just a mobile app, or both web and mobile apps for complete cross-platform solutions. You'll use the app switcher in the editor to move between your web and mobile interfaces while keeping everything connected to the same backend. And we've now expanded our drag and drop editor to include native mobile elements and services and navigation patterns. This means you have immediate access to the basic mobile building blocks like views, modals, sheets, bottom nav bar, and swipe gestures. But here's the key. We are exposing the actual native components on each platform. This means you get a native look and feel without having to become an expert in platform-specific design systems. For example, the datetime picker will open the iOS or Android system picker depending on what device your user is on. The next step is where things get really powerful. You can use the same Bubble workflow engine to build your custom logic for your mobile apps. But now you have access to new mobile-specific triggers and actions. Want to let your users take a photo? There's an action for accessing the device camera. Do you need location-based features? Location services are built right in, including requesting and managing location permissions. And as we mentioned before, your project uses the same backend for your web and mobile apps. The same database, the same backend workflows, and the same API connections. If your app already has an integration with OpenAI or Claude, for example, you don't need to set that up again for mobile. And seeing your app in action is where it really starts to click. While you're building, you can preview your mobile app in 3 ways. First, there's web preview. Like before, you can see how your mobile app will look and behave from your web browser. This is perfect for quick design checks and workflow testing. And next, there's Bubble Go. Bubble Go is an app you can download from the iOS or Android app stores to test your mobile app right on an actual device. Just log into your Bubble account, select an app, and you'll be able to experience all of the built-in native magic like transitions and device integrations. And a fun fact, this app was built on Bubble too. And finally, there's Apple's Test Flight app and Google Play's Testing Track that allow you to test a new build on your device before submission to the actual app stores. Like I mentioned before, we considered the entire mobile development lifecycle. One of the biggest differences between web apps and mobile apps is the fact that mobile apps are downloaded from an app store that requires a manual review before it can be published. And I think one of the coolest things we've done is streamline the entire build and submission process for you. Enter your Apple and Google developer details into Bubble, and we'll handle creating the build file and sending it to your developer consoles when it's complete, usually in just about 30 to 40 minutes. You don't need to worry about using any third-party tools, exporting code to Xcode or Android Studio, or manage signing your own certificates. All you need to do is click deploy. And once your app has been approved, it will land in the app stores for the world to see. And managing future updates is just as simple. You can one-click push over-the-air updates to an existing version for some small changes, or submit a new build for bigger changes. We even manage multiple live versions of your app for you, so your existing live version doesn't break while your new version is being reviewed. This also lets your users upgrade to the latest version on their own time. And yes, for our existing users, this means no refresh banner on your mobile app whenever there's a new update. Aside from the brilliant design and engineering by the mobile team, a lot of this is possible because Bubble uses React Native under the hood, which means you're building on a proven framework used by companies like Amazon, Coinbase, Discord, and Meta. It also means that Bubble mobile apps are infinitely extendable through React Native libraries available in the mobile plugin editor. Because of this infinite extensibility and how much we take care of on the back end on your behalf, we believe wholeheartedly that there is no longer a reason for builders, even mobile software engineers, to build mobile apps anywhere else. So if you're excited about this, check us out on Product Hunt. Your support today helps us reach more builders who are interested in turning their ideas into mobile apps. As a reminder, we're going to be doing a Q&A at the end of the session, so please go ahead and add any questions you have to the Q&A tab. Our moderators will pull these questions for us later in the session. But before we cover the roadmap, I'd actually love to hear from y'all about what your favorite mobile features are or aspects of the mobile editor.
So, well, I can jump in here. My 2-year-old learned how to swipe. It's crazy. And honestly, that's the kind of point. My favorite thing is how intuitive it is. You can build with native components like swipe gestures and bottom sheets, and it just feels like a real mobile app from the start. No hacks, just clean, native UX that anybody can pick up, even like literally my 2-year-old.
Yeah, I'm trying to keep my 4-year-old from swiping too much. For me, the real power is the fully integrated experience, like having web and mobile in the same project with the same backend, using the same bubble language that we've made incredibly intuitive for everyone, I think is just really, really compelling and just elevates the development process and how fast you can move.
And for me, what I love is how native the previewing and the publishing experience is on your devices. Being able to test directly on your phone using Bubble Go, and then just in one click, being able to get this to the different stores without having to deal with Xcode and Android is just a massive leap forward. It just works like everything we try to do at Bubble. It should just work and be simple for users. And I think we delivered something great here.
Amazing. Thank you. So what we've shown you today is just the beginning. And while we're proud of the remarkable things the team has already built, I also want to give you a glimpse of what's next for mobile apps on Bubble over the next 6 months. So next week, we will be launching the mobile debugger in the current web preview experience to make it easier for you to debug your apps. We'll add support for in-app purchases, a critical monetization path for mobile apps. This will include subscription models, one-time purchases, and consumable digital goods, all integrated seamlessly with Apple StoreKit and Google Play billing, with no third parties required. We'll also release the plugin editor for mobile. This will allow our incredible community to build long-tail mobile features that are more unique. Features like barcode scanning or Bluetooth integrations that have different requirements based on very specific implementations. We've been blown away with the plugins that some of our users are already building with the plugin alpha. So we're excited to expand the functionality and open access soon. Deep linking is another high priority project for us, as it will not only allow for a richer push notification experience, but it will also allow us to natively support OAuth, password reset, and magic login links in your mobile apps. Delivering more robust offline support that allows for writing data while offline has been a top feature request from our users to unlock those use cases centered around field operations, inventory management, and things that happen in more remote locations. And we'll, of course, also work on continued product quality improvements to our existing services and native features like better Android support, more intuitive app settings, custom font support, better map and location tooling, more control over your swipe actions, Face ID, and new system components like menus. We're also working on AI-generated mobile apps. This will extend our AI capabilities from web to mobile, allowing you to describe your mobile idea in natural language and have our AI generate a foundation that you can then refine and customize. And with that, I'm excited to turn it over to Tatiana, who will share a little bit more about some of the incredible mobile apps we've seen already built by the community over the last few months.
Thank you, Nick. I'm so excited for what's yet to come. And over the past few months, we have been absolutely amazed by what our beta users have built. And today, I wanted to share some of their stories because they perfectly demonstrate what's possible when you remove the barriers between ideas and execution. So let's start with Adam from Sydney, who built Football Edge with his friend who coaches the Australian under-20s football team. How cool is that? Football Edge is a mobile-first training app that combines skill exercises, learning modules, and community features. Let's take a peek at the app in action.
Football Edge is a sports coaching and tracking mobile app with timer and streak functionality, as well as over 60 training videos taught by certified coaches. Developer Adam built and launched the first version of his mobile app in a matter of weeks, from concept to first deployment, all through Bubble.
And here's what impressed me most about Adam's story. First, just how quickly he developed it. Then MVP took about 2 weeks. Adam said it was quick to build once they had the design and planned out how they were going to do it. Second, how much creative control they showed. Adam's team created this interactive football field, which users can select their position during onboarding. And while mobile app stores have unique requirements, Adam shows you can still create a fully custom UI. And finally, just how easy they found it to build for native mobile. Adam came from building wrapped apps and PWAs, but he told us Bubble felt like it was built for the native experience. And it's a lot easier and cleaner to add native features like sheets and list items. Next, let's talk about James from UK, who built the Create With conference scheduling app. Let's see what Create With team shared with attendees.
Create With UK is an AI and visual development conference that just held a successful second year near the end of May. And about a month before the event, conference co-founder and Bubble developer James decided to see if they could build a mobile companion app for attendees on Bubble.
The coolest part is that James was able to build on a shared foundation. James already had a beautiful web app presence built on Bubble, so he didn't start from scratch. Same databases, same backend workflows, same integrations for email and ticketing. But James had the chance to rethink his app for mobile and develop new mobile-first features like AI-powered session recommendations. The app asks attendees about their interests, the tools they use, then suggests which talks they'd benefit from most. James had never built a mobile app before, but because he knew Bubble so well, the learning curve was smaller than he expected, and the team was able to build the app and get it into the App Store in just less than a month. This is absolutely incredible. Next, I would love to talk a little bit about Felipe, who is a Bubble developer from Brazil. He created Wonder Words, an AI-powered children's story generator that allows you to show how quickly you can adopt existing web app for mobile. Wonder Words lets parents input information about the children, like their names, interests, themes, and then generate personalized children's stories, complete with AI-generated text and images. In fact, the web version won one of BubbleScan Award last year, so we're really excited that Felipe is continuing to invest in Wonder Words. So let's take a look.
Wonder Words is an app that lets parents generate children's stories using AI. Developer Felipe used Bubble to launch it for web, iOS, and Android.
Felipe was successful because he understood that mobile isn't just a web app for small screens. It requires rethinking the experience. And since Felipe already had a working web app, the adaptation was remarkably fast. Felipe accomplished something that surprised even him. He published to both iOS App Store and Google Play without even owning a Mac, which is truly amazing. Normally it's required to deploy in an iOS app. All of this is due to Bubble managing the entire build and deployment process. And fun fact, Felipe even built an Easter egg gallery into his apps that showcases all the different mobile components. It's become a learning tool for other developers who wanted to see what's possible in Bubble. So definitely, if you're a developer, I encourage you to check it out. But these aren't the only success stories. Let me quickly share a few more showcases, the diversity of what's being built, including both B2B and B2C apps. AirDev is building an internal app for their team of freelancers. Now their team can access tasks and notifications on the go instead of having to open the web portal every single time. Now, Cody Technologies published a playful app where you get a daily photography prompt that gets you outside. And AI rates how well your picture matched the prompt. Super cool. And then we have Goodspeed Studios. They built a team wellness app in just 3 days, which is really, really incredible. It started as an internal tool to help their team slow down and be mindful, but it's since been launched for the world to use. And we're excited to see more from our community, including these apps from agencies like RapidDev, Revido, as well as community members, including Lorraine, Marina, Obi, Deborah, and Clementine. And what strikes me about all of these stories is their speed, creativity, and real-world impact. These are businesses being built, problems being solved, and ideas becoming a reality. And this is definitely just the beginning. So I'm going to turn it back over to Nick to share a little more about how you can get started.
Cool. Thanks, Tatiana. So as a next step, we want to get your ideas into the App Store. First, sign up or log in at bubble.io to start building. During onboarding, you'll be able to select mobile as your starting point. And if you're a Bubble user already, you can add a mobile app to your existing project, or you can create your first mobile app from scratch. Second, I'm excited to announce some new education resources for new and existing users alike. For new users who want to get started with mobile apps on Bubble, we've partnered with the legend Matt Neary to develop a comprehensive Getting Started course. We're excited that his course covers everything from developing mobile UIs to navigation patterns to publishing to the app stores. The first section is dropping on YouTube today, with more sections coming over the next few weeks. And for existing Bubble developers, our team has put together resources to help you get up and running that leverage your existing Bubble skills. And as I mentioned earlier, there are some unique aspects to building on mobile, including the publishing process to the app stores. And you can find all of them at bubble.io/mobile. I'm also excited to share that we'll be adding mobile development questions to our Bubble certification program in Q4 of this year. For those building agencies and consultancies, this will be a great way to showcase your expanded skill set to clients. And last, but definitely not least, keep your eyes peeled for how you can join our Summer Mobile Challenge. We're launching this next challenge soon. It'll be a fantastic opportunity to showcase what you're building and connect with other mobile app creators in our community. We'll be bringing in an all-star panel of judges who will help decide who gets to take home a cash prize. Now, you're probably wondering how pricing for mobile apps is going to work. So today we have 5 different pricing plans: free, starter, growth, team, and enterprise. And moving forward, each plan tier will have a different price depending on which platforms you want to support. If you're only building for the web, the features and costs of those 5 plans are staying exactly the same. For people building standalone mobile apps or projects that will have both a live web app and a mobile app, there will be new prices and features for each plan tier. The future costs of all of these plans are listed in the blog post linked from bubble.io/pricing. Now, we think having native mobile apps on Bubble is a game-changing release, and we're excited about all of the new value users will get from this new editor. We want you to have plenty of time to experience the new mobile functionality as we continue to make improvements throughout the public beta. So, between now and October 1st, you'll be able to add a mobile app to an existing web project and deploy at no additional cost. If you're new to Bubble, you should know that you can always build either type of app for free. And when you're ready to publish to the app stores, you can choose one of our current paid plans. Then, on October 1st, the separate web and mobile pricing will kick in. You'll need to opt into your plan of choice in September, and we'll send you plenty of reminders leading up to that. But for now, I encourage you to experiment, learn, and build. And whether you're creating your first mobile app or extending an existing web app to mobile, now is the perfect time to dive in. So we've covered a lot so far, but I'm sure you all have plenty of questions. Maybe you're wondering about specific features, more about pricing, timelines, or how this is going to work with your existing apps. So actually, would love to hand it off to Tatiana.
All right, perfect. This is a great segue to my favorite part, which is live Q&A. And I know folks are still submitting questions, so why don't we start off with my first question for all of you. So if you could build a mobile app today, what would you build? Josh, I'm going to pick on you first.
Yeah, I'm actually working on something. I'm building an AI-powered app to help my wife and I figure out what we're going to do with the kids each weekend, because keeping it fresh every single weekend and sort of our limited time is always like a little bit of a challenge. So I'm looking forward to having an app for that.
Can you please start this now and then share with everybody? I'm definitely going to use it.
Yes, I plan to publish
Nick, what about you?
Yeah, so I actually created a React Native mobile app at my previous startup in the live music space, but I've been thinking about how I want to add an AI angle to it now that these LLMs have gotten so good. So thinking about updating the code to incorporate these new features is like a non-starter, but now that we have native mobile apps on Bubble, I'm really excited to start making those tweaks.
Amazing, go for it. Okay, and then Emmanuel.
So people probably don't know that, but I spent a few months in fashion actually before Josh and I
we know that.
started working at mobile. And so when Josh and I met for the first time and we discussed, web versus mobile, had I not joined Josh, I probably would have done some startup that was an app to let people have feedback on the outfit they would wear very quickly, before you go out. And so if I had time, I don't have much time, but if I had time, I would be building that.
I think you should do that.
It hasn't been built yet.
Weekends, nights, go for it. Alrighty, folks. So with that, we're actually going to move to live questions. And the first one I have, I think, Nick, it's probably for you. Are native app notifications included in the first release?
Yeah, so push notification support is included in the first release. We're really excited about how we implemented this because when you're ready to send a push notification to one of your users, it's literally a workflow action called send push notification, and you define the content that you want to show up, and you define who you're sending it to, and it just works.
Thank you, Nick. I think this next one is probably Emmanuel for you. When will AI Builder for native apps be available?
We're still working on this. We're still in research and development. The goal is to get this, by the end of the year. I think we'll get sooner than this, but I'm not going to commit to like a particular date on that one.
Awesome, thank you. I think the next one is probably going to be for Josh. Josh, can you also use plugins in the mobile app?
Yeah, absolutely. So backend plugins that were written for web should work today for mobile. And then for front-end plugins, we're letting you write plugins in React Native. So those are going to have to be mobile specific, but we're going to open up the plugin editor to everyone over the next couple months and get users building on it.
Yep, super exciting. Then, Nick, how long does it take from when I press publish until it shows in the Apple Store Connect?
Yeah, so this process takes about 30 to 40 minutes. So when you click deploy, we run that build process in the back end, and then you'll get an email when your Android and your iOS build files are complete.
Great. Either Emmanuel or Nick, does Bubble native mobile app use React Native?
I'll take it. Yes, it does. And as Nick just shared earlier, this was one of the important technical decisions that we've made and ensure that we have like a true native experience. And I'm glad we made that decision.
Yeah, I'm happy we made that, especially seeing with the plugin alpha that we've been doing. It's fairly limited functionality. We just wanted to see what plugin developers could do. And just with the base React Native like API, insane. I mean, they did way more than we thought was possible. So really happy we made that decision.
Great. And then Nick, I think the next question is for you. Will my existing API calls on the web app be available in native mobile app?
Yeah, this is one of the special parts about sharing the same backend with your web app and your mobile app is that things like API calls that you've already set up, any backend workflows or internal API endpoints that you set up for your app, those will all function out of the box.
I think the next one is probably going to be for Josh, but anybody feel free to jump in. Can I add native mobile to my existing web application? How should I convert a wrapped app to a native app?
Yeah, great question. So absolutely, yes, that's really the power of this. And if you already have like a wrapped mobile app, you're gonna have to convert it sort of screen by screen. You can copy and paste over some of the styles, some of the components. Some of it you're going to want to redesign a little bit with like the native functionality that we've built. So it's not like a button click conversion, but as you heard from some of the user stories that Tatiana talked through earlier, it can happen really quickly once you get into the groove of it.
All right, that one is next one is super interesting. I'm a 43-year-old investment banker and private equity professional who regrets, capital, not taking my computing skills beyond game loads, starting from my Commodore 64 times. I don't know what that is. Now I want to build my dreams and build the next unicorn. Why should I choose Bubble or should I just go home?
I love this question. I actually started in finance too. I made the jump to web entrepreneurship a little earlier in my career, but it's never too late to get started. You should absolutely go for it. And frankly, the reason to choose Bubble is simple. It's the fastest time to value on a robust production platform. And at the end of the day, entrepreneurship is all about moving fast and then scaling up. And that's kind of what we've designed Bubble for from the get-go.
Absolutely. And this is what we consistently see again and again, right? It's the people that never thought they could build an app. It's the people that never thought they could build a business now absolutely can. So I think our advice to anybody out there, if you have an idea, just go for it, do it, and I'm sure you'll be successful.
Don't go home. Do it. Okay.
Let's do it. All right. Okay, I think, Emmanuel, maybe this one is for you. Can the native mobile app be tested within the bubble.io builder?
Yes, we have two ways to test applications that have been built, native applications that have been built with our native app builder, either on the web, and so it's going to be basically you're going to see a phone in run mode where you can interact with your application and test behaviors. This is in particular good to debug workflows, for instance, because you can test your logic, and it's easier to do that on your computer, and then you can do that on your phone with Bubble Go, where you would experience your application exactly as your users will experience it once it goes through the app stores and they can download it.
Great. All right, I think the next one is probably for Nick. Resolving bugs on web app side was easy. All you had to do was deploy. However, the process for iOS and Android are generally more complex, requiring a detailed check before publication on the respective stores. How that's going to work?
Yeah, it's certainly a more involved process, but a big thing that we've done, like we mentioned before, is try to incorporate as much of this as possible into the product itself. So, you'll deploy like you do on web, which will create a file that'll get sent to the Android and iOS app stores. And then from there, in these developer consoles, there are a bunch of kind of more like marketing related questions describing your app, adding screenshots and things like that. Those are things that you do on your own and are really kind of custom about your app, including answering questions about how you collect data. We've tried to really outline these steps in our documentation, and we also have educational content in video format that'll also go into these specific steps. But those, once you've tested on Bubble Go or on the web, those like Android and Apple also have their means of testing to get you ready for that like final submission process. And so like on Test Flight, and you can invite kind of beta testers to test your app, and the same thing on Android. And then when you're ready to submit, the stores will come back to you and say, hey, we noticed this issue, and they'll provide links and more descriptions. So it's actually like a fairly conversational process I've found with both Android and Apple, where they'll come back and say, hey, like, you need to fix this thing before continuing. So if this is the first time, like I know it feels, it can feel kind of scary, but like I've been going back and forth with Apple for a while now on this one app, but they're nice, and so that's kind of like one way to guide you through the process is just go for it, try it out, because it's really experience and giving it a go, which is how you're going to learn.
I'd also add to that, like if a bug does make it out there, we support over-the-air updates. Different app stores have different policies on what has to go through a build process, what can be sent over the air. But like for minor bug fixes and stuff, you don't necessarily have to go through the full app store submission process. You could just publish straight from Bubble directly to users' phones. So that helps with it too a little bit.
Absolutely. All right, I think for this next one, either Nick or Emmanuel, feel free to jump in. Sharing the same database and backend workflows are absolutely fantastic. Are there any plans on the roadmap to provide more integrations for web and mobile development? Examples, maybe some examples that include writing backend workflows rather than scheduling, UI elements, reusable, et cetera, or workflows in general?
Yeah, I guess I can take that one. I mean, this is definitely something we'll keep pushing because we think what's making the value proposition of Bubble quite unique is that you can really have like the same platform for the same product, development product for like 3 different platforms, Android, Apple, and web. And so we'll keep pushing. I would say we're starting from a pretty solid place today. We're already very integrated. So database is the same, backend workflows, API calls, plugins. There are a lot of things that are already shared. And we'll see in the beta where people see the biggest need in terms of integration between the multiple platforms. But something like styles, be able to share, workflows and stuff like that will definitely be stuff we'll push in the next few months.
Yeah, absolutely. And Josh, maybe you can take that next one. When will I be able to start designing a mobile app for my web app? Do I have to wait for October 1st?
No, you can start today. It's live, it's available, go out and check it out. The October 1st date is about when we introduce the new pricing. So we want people to have a chance to check it out. So from now until October 1st, there's no additional charge for mobile. On October 1st, the new plan structure is going to roll into place, but you can start building right now.
Absolutely. I think everybody, as of now, today, go do it, build it.
No excuse.
No excuse. All right, Nick, is it possible to just copy and paste the elements that we've already built in Web Builder as mobile app versions?
Yeah, so yes and no. There are a lot of crossover elements like buttons, text, normal groups that work the same on both web and mobile. And then there are also some specialized elements on either side that don't necessarily cross over. And so this was a question that came up a lot when we first started alpha testing and when we moved into invite-only beta was like, hey, I already have an app. I just want to like turn it right into a mobile app. And actually the feedback that we started seeing once people got more into it is they were excited to rebuild their front end because they now had all of these new like mobile services and components that they didn't have access to before. Like sheets and system pickers, that bottom tab bar that kind of just works like magic. And so, yes, you can copy some stuff over, but I would recommend if you have an existing web app that you want to be a mobile app or you have a wrapped app to kind of like take a step back and analyze your design and think if there are ways that you can make it more mobile. And so, a lot of logic can be carried over. For example, if you have any backend workflows, you can still talk to them. But I think you'll want to take the opportunity to redesign that front end so it really looks like a mobile app.
Yeah, definitely. Then, Emmanuel, is it possible to automatically convert a Bubble web app into a native?
I think we've kind of already covered that in the sense that, no, it's not like there's something as a one button, but as we said, you can copy paste the few things. You can go like screen by screen to do that pretty quickly. But I will reiterate what Nick just said. I think what's really exciting about this release for us is that we can get like truly native applications. And the fact is, if you've built a web app that was working on mobile, you're probably not leveraging what native applications can do today. I would very much recommend to do that because that's where you get something that is truly native that your users will love. And when users love your product, then everything is better after that.
We also have a web view element. So this is an element that you can drag onto your view and you can point that to a existing web app page. So let's say, there's some functionality or there's like a specific screen that has already built out and you don't want to convert it yet, or you can't for whatever reason, you can drop a web view element in there and point it to that page and it'll show up in your mobile app as well. So another tactic that some of our kind of more advanced users with really complicated apps have used in terms of that transition process.
Yep.
Awesome. And also, Nick, while I got you,
Yes.
Is Bubble Go available now? I searched the iOS App Store and can't find it.
Yes. So Bubble Go is available right now. So on the Play Store, it's out in the Play Store. On the App Store, you'll access it through TestFlight. So there's a link in bubble.io/mobile that'll allow you to download it. TestFlight is an app that Apple has that you can download from the App Store that loads mobile apps. And so that link will allow you to download Bubble Go onto your phone. And once it's on your phone through TestFlight, it'll be right on your home screen and you'll use it like you normally would. We're still going through the App Store review process with them. We were really hoping to have it ready for the launch date, but there are a few last-minute snags. So we're going to hope to get it in there sooner rather than later, but also a good kind of, I guess, advice to everyone here is if you want to get your app into the Apple App Store, start that review process like early because it can take a while.
We are building hands-on experience with the review
Yes.
process to help coach you all through it because it's a journey.
Yeah.
A lot of empathy.
Nick is going to publish a blog post afterwards, and it's definitely something that's super top of mind for him.
So Apple, if you're watching, please, please approve us.
Alrighty, Josh, this is probably coming from some of our newer users. When I create with Bubble, can I have a custom name site, or will it always be attached to the Bubble name?
Yeah, so I mean, obviously, we hope you're going to put built on Bubble all over your apps and websites. But yeah, we're a completely white labeled platform. Our goal is to support your business success, not to support our own brand success. So you can put a custom domain on. Once you publish an app to the App Store, users won't know it was built on Bubble. It's a completely white labeled system.
Yeah, but definitely feel free to keep using Built on Bubble. We love to see that. Alrighty, then next one is for Nick. When will payment options be native? I've had trouble connecting Stripe and beta.
Yeah, so like I mentioned, kind of talking about the roadmap, implementing in-app purchases is the number one priority for us post-launch. Apple has its own it's called StoreKit. Google has Google Play Billing, and these are both kind of services that they have that allow for that in-app purchases experience. So we'll be integrating directly with them. So you're not having to also pay a portion of your revenue to a third party to manage that process. You'll be able to use kind of those native workflows within Bubble to be able to create those experiences. Again, it's the top. I can't give an exact timeline yet because it's a fairly complex project, but it is something that we're putting a #1 priority on. And it's very important also when thinking about in-app purchases and payments to your mobile app to check the rules for Apple and Google, because they have rules as far as like which types of monetization strategies require in-app purchases and which ones can be done elsewhere. There's a lot of really good documentation out there. So kind of take a look at your business model, understand what the rules are, especially some of the latest court cases and decisions. It's crazy to see if you need to wait for in-app purchases or if it's something that you can monetize right away. But more likely than not, it'll be something that requires in-app purchases.
Yeah, and this is definitely something I'm really excited for as community starts building more and more, right? We'll have a lot of best practices that folks hopefully will share. All right, next one is probably for Emmanuel. In the new Bubble mobile build, is it possible to access native hardware features on iOS and Android devices, such as vibration, camera access, feedback, flashing controls, biometric authentication? Okay, there's just a lot of them, but I think you get the question.
So yes. So first of all, I mean, this is very critical for us. Like we want to deliver like a great native experience, and for that, we want to be able to enable our users to rely on native capabilities of their phone. We already have a few things that exist that Nick just shared a few minutes ago. So camera, location services in particular are something that you can already use today, and we'll add these in the next few months. I think by the end of the year we'll add quite a few. And we'll see what comes first. I think Face ID will come pretty high on the list. So something around vibration is something that is a pretty cool experience that we'll want to add. So please keep sending us feedback, by the way, in terms of what you need, because that will help us prioritize. The goal is to add most of them in the coming months.
Yeah, and then for whatever we don't end up building ourselves, then that's the beauty of the plugin, the React Native plugin editor, is that you can use any library you want to extend your app. And I would say these like Claude and ChatGPT are really good at helping you write those. I've written a few mobile plugins already just using ChatGPT. So it's not necessarily limited to the professional plugin builder anymore either.
Yeah. And Nick, while I have you, I heard there will be an offline mode. How can I make sure I have the correct data saved for offline mode?
Yeah, so out of the box, we support kind of a base level functionality while offline. So while your user is kind of like scrolling through your app or navigating through your app, we're gonna store any of the data that's loaded on the device itself locally. So if that user happens to go offline while they're using the app, they'll still be able to navigate and use the app as expected. It's just that creating data or editing data is not going to be allowed. As we move forward, I mentioned, one of the important things on our roadmap is better offline support. And so this includes the ability for users to actually edit data while their app is offline and then syncing that back up to the database when it's back on. Some other improvements that we want to make are giving the developer more control over exactly what gets saved and what doesn't. So right now, it's everything gets saved, but in the future, we want to give our developers that control.
Amazing. And thank you, everybody, for all the questions. Definitely, please keep them coming. We probably won't be able to actually answer all of them. Actually, no, I think we're almost out of time. But please keep submitting them, because afterwards, we'll make sure to follow up and answer all the questions. I know there's a lot of, it's a new product. There's a lot of questions, and we'll do our best to make sure that all the information will come your way as soon as we can. And on that, all right, I think we have time for a couple more questions. All right, Josh, can we access local storage in the read-write for files and photos?
Yeah, so like we've talked about, we're exposing sort of all the native power of the device to be able to work with features, whether it's available today or coming on our roadmap. Actually, where does file camera access sit? I think we have it today, right?
Yeah, so we have photos, and then file storage is coming soon.
Right.
There is I believe a plugin developer has just made one that allows you to. to upload
Yeah.
files. Yeah.
As you can see, like any gaps are going to be super quickly filled by plugin developers because you can just bang it out in React Native. I mean, today AI can probably write the React Native plugin for you. So we expect functionality gaps between what we can do and any app can do to close incredibly quickly.
All right, and Nick, can you pick which app stores you deploy to, or does it always have to be both?
No, you can pick which ones you deploy to. So it depends on what settings you fill out. So in your app settings, you'll put your Apple developer credentials, you'll put your Google developer details. If you want both, if you only care about Android, then just don't add you don't have an Apple developer account. If you don't care about Google, you don't have to. And then when you build, we'll only build that one file.
Thank you, Nick. And actually, I got another question for you. Will I be able to develop and test an iOS app using my Android device and vice versa? Or will I need to just bite the bullet and invest in an Apple device?
No, you can do both. So Bubble Go is available on both iOS and Android devices. One of the unique things about mobile development is it's pretty specific to the device it's on. So if you are serious about developing mobile apps, you're going to create a business around it, definitely recommend having physical devices so that you can really test them locally, because performance can vary, the look and feel can vary. But you don't have to. Web Preview allows you to do it without that. There are simulators that you can download on your computer where you can load these things. So there are ways around it, but thinking long term, you probably do want to have test devices. We have test devices in the office to make sure that our apps are looking good on both.
All right, thank you, Nick. And I think we have time for only a few more questions, and then we'll have to wrap up. I think this is going to be our last question, Emmanuel, for you. Will the workload units calculation remain the same for mobile, sharing both web app and mobile?
Yes, I think one of the key value propositions that we have is that it's an integrated backend. So whether your users use a mobile application or a web application, this is using the same backend and the same logic you have there. And therefore, your consumption is going to be computed the same. Like, we only charge for what's happening on the server, and it does not matter whether it's initiated from a mobile device, on an app, or from another device with a web app.
Thank you. And I wanted to take the time to thank you, everybody, for all the great questions and for, honestly, all of your support along the way. We're so excited to be able to offer mobile, finally. There's still a lot of work to be done, but just huge thank you to everybody. I know that we didn't get to all the questions today, but please keep them coming, post them in forum. We'll make sure to answer them as soon as we can. And then with that, I'm going to pass it over to Emmanuel.
Yes, as we wrap up today, I want to once again thank our incredible private beta testers and the entire Bubble community for their help on this journey. I also want to congratulate the team at Bubble. As we mentioned in the beginning, Josh and I have been dreaming of this moment for a very long time, maybe since the beginning of the company. And it was this group at Bubble of people that made this vision a reality. And so thank you everyone for the hard work, and Nick in particular here. Today isn't the finish line. It's the first release that puts web and native into the same toolbox. We'll keep shipping every week, so let us know what could be improved. The feedback you provide and the apps you build are what shapes the future of Bubble. We can't wait to see what you will all build. Please share your apps with the hashtag #BuiltWithBubble so we can celebrate your success and showcase your work to our community. Thank you for joining us today. Now let's get your app ideas into the app stores.
All right. Thank you, everybody.